Hello, YouTube. Hello, welcome. Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning. Happy weekend. Weekend's almost over, unless you guys have Monday off, and then congrats to you, because I wish I did. It's a kind of a nice day here in Wisconsin. A little chilly, but we're in that weather pattern now in Wisconsin where one day it could be 70 and the next day it could be 32. So it's just crazy. I got to be honest with you, I'm not feeling the greatest this morning. So this is probably going to be a short show. We'll see. We're going to talk about a few things. I don't have any mods or any builds going on today. Behind me, you can see, I'll pull up the camera view here. Behind me on the table up there in the upper left, you can see that I have the NBA Jam control panel apart. And while I'm on that subject, I'll just talk about it for a second. So after the show last week, I made the stupid decision to test the LED light button or button lights on-off button. And when I did that, it crapped on me. I could no longer control the lights. And apparently this is an existing issue. Quarterdeck has it. I've had it, and I'm sure maybe a handful of others have had it out there as well. So immediately opened up a ticket with Arcade 1UP, told them, hey, got a problem here. I knew what Arcade 1UP was going to ask for. You've all probably put in tickets, know what they ask for. They ask for a video. They ask for the serial number of the cabinet. They ask for a proof of purchase, that kind of thing. So I had all that ready to go on Monday morning when they responded to me, and they responded really quick. I got to give them credit. They responded. Actually, they responded Sunday morning and asked me for all this stuff. Or no, it was Monday morning. Asked me for all this stuff. So with less than a day, they got back to me and asked me for all this stuff. Shot it back to them. Later in the afternoon, got an email from them. Hey, we got a part on order for you. So no back and forth between Arcade and 1UP and I. Process was pretty smooth. They shipped it out. Still waiting for it to get here. I'm hoping that they ship me new wiring with that switch as well, because I think the wiring is a little bit questionable. I might go ahead and order my own wiring just to have as a backup, but we'll see what happens when the part gets here. The game is playable. The only thing affected is the lights on the buttons. So I could literally take that control panel, slip it back into NBA Jam and play it if I wanted to, without the lights, of course. But that's what's been going on. Frustrating, you expect your product to work out of the box and not have any issues. Well, as we learned, Arcade 1UP has issues here and there with their QA, and this being one of them. I would have hoped that they would have QA'd those buttons pretty good. Since Quarterdeck and I both have the same issue, and I'll tell you, I could bring it up for you and show it to you, but I got a bullet email response when they notified me that they were shipping one out. And that kind of tells me that Arcade 1UP knew about this issue right off the bat, because they sent me a form response. You can tell when something's been written previously and just copy and pasted into an email and sent. And that was a form written response, which tells me that they've known about this switch issue with the NBA Jam Deluxe Vault Edition. It's on its way. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but if you look at the FedEx, and I'm no fan of FedEx, the shipping details haven't updated since it left Carlsbad, California. So I don't know where it is. Hopefully it'll get to me sometime this week, hopefully the next day or two. I'd like to get this cabinet put back together. The reason why I haven't put it back together is just so I can play it, is because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to keep pulling it and putting it back in. So I just left it out all week. So, yeah. What else is going on? Not much. The arcade has been silent all week. I've been working on site all day, 8 hours a day, 45 miles away. So that's an hour commute to and from. So add on 2 more hours to that. So 10-hour work days, basically. And then you consider the time I'm working out in the morning. By the time I get home, I'm not in any mood to fire up the arcade and come down here. So usually we just eat dinner and go to bed. So arcade was silent, and you know what that means. I had to sign into all my @games devices this morning, which is a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. I'm going to take a moment here to say hi to everybody in the chat. Ted Adam Green's here. Welcome, Ted Adam Green. Always a reliable viewer. Appreciate you. Hockey Town is here. Good to see you as well. Dare I ask why your weekend's not going very well? My weekend's been okay. I can't complain. The gal and I were out and about yesterday and messing around in Brookfield. Actually messing around in areas where PD7 usually films his walk and talks. So out in Brookfield. And some of you might know where that is. But he usually hangs out there near Mega Media Exchange and that home Best Buy that he calls home. We didn't go in the Best Buy, but yeah, we spent the day in Brookfield yesterday doing a little bit of light shopping. I needed to find a new pair of gym shorts for my run in May in Indianapolis, and after going to 3 places, we found one. So I'm pretty happy about that. But hope your weekend's going okay, Hockey Town. Prince Vinny is here. Welcome. Good to see you. Mike of all trades. Welcome, Moat. Good to see you as well. Everybody say hi to Moat. Let's see. Oh, man. Yeah, good morning to you. So as you might notice, I'm not at the Midwest Gaming Classic. The last day is today. Today is family day at the MGC. The gal and I chose not to go because number one, Saturday ticket prices were just astronomical. And yeah, the ticket prices are cheaper today, but with the schedule and everything, it's just not going to work out. So I just decided to skip the MGC this week. I will suggest everybody hop on over, and I was going to cue that video up. Let's do it now. I was going to do him a solid. Our good friend PD7. Bring up some footage here. I'm fat fingering it because I'm blind without my glasses. Here we go. So let's reshare something here real quick. I'm going to share out this YouTube video, but I'm going to mute the audio. Okay, so here we have the Midwest Gaming Classic video from PD7. I'll drop a link here real quick. To the video. There's PD7's video link right there in the chat. So yeah, out there, he's out there in front of the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Then I worked down there, so I know exactly what this is. I went there last year. Hope he found better parking than he did last year. He paid a pretty high premium for parking, and I think I only paid like 10 or 12 bucks where I parked. So could have parked where I worked and walked, but anywho, enlarge this screen a little bit more. Skipping ahead to the video. Wristband is required, of course. From what I saw watching the video this morning, it was pretty typical setup for the, if those of you who've been to the Midwest Gaming Classic, you know, they run a typical setup. I thought this was pretty cool. Let me skip back to it. Oh man, there it is. I thought this was pretty cool. This Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater setup that he had. I thought that was really cool. What this looks like to me is the animatronics controller that controlled the Pizza Time Theater, and I would have loved to have seen that up close because I'm a techie and I'm fascinated by that stuff. So that was cool. They have a typical pinball this year. I am a little bit disappointed. He got to see the Metallica pinball. My gal would have been really excited about that. That's a pretty cool topper right there. Yeah, I'm not going to show anything this entire video, but and there you see he met up with I forget the guy's name, Ron, I think his name is. So he is finding some people that he knows there. Pretty large space that they take over all 3 floors of the Baird Center, which is fascinating, and they definitely outgrew the place that they were at. I remember, in fact, the gal and I were in Brookfield yesterday, so we drove. I pointed it out to her. I said, "Well, there's the hotel that the Gaming Classic used to be in," and she knew right off the bat. Well, they definitely outgrew that because it's a tiny place. And if you've been to the MGC at the old hotel, you know that it was a tight space, and the hallways were definitely very tight to walk through on the busiest of days. So definitely a fun place. Got some old classic pinballs there as well. The Indy 500 pinball, I've played that one there before. So it definitely looks like a lot of the same stuff there. So the one thing I think I missed last year that's there this year is Kit is there, the car. We did a little quarter arcade display or showed some quarter arcades off. What struck me there is they were selling the Pepsi and the 7-Up machines for $229, which if you buy it direct from quarter arcades, it's like $159 now or $169. But you know that tack on shipping, and it's probably going to work out to $229. So that's probably why they charged what they charged. So anyway, check out Phil's video. I'm just kind of skipping around here. There's the Ecto-mobile and the Back to the Future car as well. The Jurassic Park Jeep. Well, that's not a Jeep. And then, of course, Wayne's World. So lots to see in his videos. So go check them out and experience the MGC through him. He's there again today, so I expect another video drop tomorrow with his final day there at the MGC. So check out our friend PD7. His walk and talks are always really great. So I'll probably add the link to the description of the video as well. Bad Guy's here. Welcome, Bad Guy. Welcome. Stock Jock. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Yeah, we skipped it this year. Just, I am a little bit jealous myself, but saving some money, and it's all about sticking to a budget, and it just wasn't in my budget this year. So I just bought the NBA Jam, and so we'll see about probably go next year. Oh man. Yeah, I would definitely love to have an Indy 500 pinball. I do have a racing themed pinball. I think I do have Indy 500 virtual pinball on the modded Star Wars pinball back there. Welcome, Mike Hawkhurst. Good to see you. Yeah, check him out. Good content. Good stream. They also, I noticed on his video, they had the wrestling back again this year. So that was a little bit. I remember I used to be really big into wrestling. Not so much now. I don't know why. I don't know if I just outgrew it or what, but I haven't watched much of it. I was a big Sting fan back in the day. Those of you that remember WCW back in the day, no Sting, and I loved his entrance theme and all that. I was big into the Crow back then, so Sting was a good character for me. Oh, Prince Vinny asks a great question here. I am making plans, formulating plans. I did my budget. Matter of fact, when I went live this morning, I was flying by the seat of my pants. I had just gotten out of the shower, and got my laundry together and started. So I did my budget this morning. It's one of the things I do every 2 weeks when I get paid, and I sit down and I carve up the money and put them in their little accounts. And so I'm looking ahead to what I'm going to do. So to answer your question is, yes, it will at some point. What's the priority on that? It's behind some things I want to pick up. So I would say it's probably third or fourth in line to what I want to pick up. So it will be coming back eventually if I can. If I see that there are hints that it might be going out of stock, I might pick it up sooner. It's kind of how I felt about the NBA Jam Vault Edition Deluxe. That's why I moved on that. So to answer your question, short answer is yes, it's coming eventually. Let's talk about Cleveland. As you guys know, well, some of you know, some of you might not know. I've announced that for my 60th birthday, I will be running the Air Force Marathon. Now, the Air Force Marathon is on Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, about 3 hours away from Cleveland. Now, I kind of joked with my gal, and the marathon is on that Saturday, the same weekend that the Cleveland Gaming Classic is going on. So I kind of joked with my gal. So after I run 4 hours, 26.2 miles, should we pile in the car, drive 3 hours to Cleveland? And that was last week I made that joke to her. So she's like, no, I don't think you're going to feel up to it. You're going to need at least a day to rest the legs. And, we got a long drive home and all that stuff. And so we set our vacations in motion, our requests to each of our employers. And she actually padded an extra day in there that I wasn't expecting. And so I did the same thing in my request. So we're actually on vacation until Wednesday of the following week. And she comes to me and says, hey, if you don't mind, after the marathon, maybe if we leave on that following day on Sunday, can we drive to Cleveland and go see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? So we'll be there probably sometime Sunday in Cleveland. She very badly wants to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we'll probably drive there the day after the marathon, so I have time to recover a little bit. And so whether or not we see everybody, I expect everybody that's going to Cleveland, the Gaming Classic, probably leave on Sunday to go back to their respective jobs and their homes. So if there's any way that I could squeeze in seeing some of you guys on Sunday, we'll do it, but we probably won't get there till after you all leave. So sad to say, I won't be able to catch up with you guys in the Cleveland Gaming Classic. Zero, good to see you. Actually, like this setup. I said earlier when we started the stream, I haven't been down here all week, but I walked down here for the first time earlier this morning to set everything up, and I'm like, wow, this looks pretty good. I, I'm I'm actually I need to figure something out for the build-a-cades, the 1/6 scale. I don't like it in the center of the room there. It's okay for now, but I need to find out another solution for those that fits this space better. So overall, right now, the way the room is, I like it. That's funny. That's I gotta look at my map app to see how many miles that is. Probably not going to happen. I'm not Forrest Gump. There's no. I mean, there are times where I do feel like running, but there just ain't enough. I mean, after running a marathon, I'm not going to feel like running. No, I'm just not. I don't know if I'll be able to drive up Saturday. So we're right now we're planning staying in Dayton near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for an extra night, and then we'll head out on Sunday morning. So that's that. That's what's happening in September. So in May, we'll be traveling to Indianapolis, and I'll be running a half marathon there. I've always wanted to run the Indy Mini because you get to run a lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So that I'll be doing, and so that's more going to be like a fun run for me, not for time or anything. Just I'm honoring my brother who passed away in December. So I'm running that half to remember him. I've got a special tank top made up for it. Yesterday, my gal and I were in Brookfield looking for yellow shorts that I could wear with it. And so that weekend in May is just going to be all about him. I'm making 3 trips. Guys, just a show note. The month of May there's going to be, I'll probably have to go on hiatus because 3 weekends in May I'll be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So there won't be any show those weekends. So we'll talk about more as we get close to it. Remind you folks that I'll be gone. I'll probably do some community posts and maybe even a short or two about my experiences there. But my family has a long history with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's why we go there. That's why we love it. And my brother, for decades, literally, was a photographer there. And I'm going to honor him probably the entire month. I'll do things to remember him while I'm there. We're up to 21 people viewing live here, and I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. It's Sunday morning. I know you guys are just rolling out of bed wherever you are, and I appreciate everybody just stopping by to say hello. But again, if you like what I do, by all means, hit the like and subscribe button. Always like to see that subscriber number go up. It went up a couple of ticks this week, and that made me very happy. So, okay. What else did we talk about? So I put out a question on. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Stock Jock, let me know. The current president of IMS is Doug Bowles. Is that who you're talking about, or is it Tony Holman? Because before Doug Bowles it was Tony Holman. And as you guys know, the Holman family are what owned the Indianapolis Motor Speedway before Penske bought it. But Doug Bowles is a great guy. I've had a few conversations with him in the media center there at IMS. The guy, 100%, 110% puts everything he has into running that track. And now he's actually president of IndyCar too. So not only is he going to run the IMS Motor Speedway, he's going to run IndyCar as well. And, they're going to be better off for it. Trust me, he's a great guy. Okay, so you guys remember that I put up a community post interested in handhelds. You know, everybody was going nuts about the Switch 2. And again, I just want to say I'm not a console guy. I'm not a handheld guy. So that's why you never see me talk about consoles and handhelds. I did own an Xbox once when they first came out. It didn't last long. I took it to GameStop and sold it back to them. And it just didn't take. Number one, I wasn't playing it. Every time I got home from work, I was too tired to do anything. And so it never got any playtime. I never, we weren't that rich back in the day, so I couldn't own any gaming systems back in the early 80s. And of course, I was in the military from 84 to 91. And then after that, consoles I never took with me. So I don't talk about them. So everybody was talking about the Switch 2 earlier, and there's lots of channels out there. If you want to check out Switch 2 news and content, please check them out. I am kind of paying attention, but not really interested in buying one or even an original Switch for that matter. But I did. It got me thinking. It would be kind of nice, you know, on my breaks at work, just to whip out a handheld and play a game or two. So to that end, I went and I bought a handheld. Let me make sure I've got the right window going. Oh, that's not right. There we go. So you guys have probably seen this in your travels. So I went and bought me a handheld. Now I was looking specifically for a handheld that was already RetroPie or emulation station based. And I read the reviews on this one. There were a couple of bad ones, but mostly positive reviews of this particular device. What's up, Gotham? Good to see you, man. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Joy Chitwood of the Chitwood family. Wow. Okay. So I bought this handheld, and number one, you know, the price was a thing. You know, it's claiming that it has 30,000 games on this device, and I've only had. I'll preface all of this by saying I just got it yesterday. It came yesterday. I haven't had a chance to really deep dive into it. I did turn it on this morning because the very first thing I do when I get a device that has an SD card, I yank that SD card out and I back it up before I even turn it on. So it was a 256 gig SD card. So I thought, well, I'll back it up and let it run overnight, and then I'll see what it does in the morning. And so this morning, before I went to the gym, I fired it up, played a couple of games. Now, I will say this particular unit is running emulation station and RetroPie, and the underlying OS on it is something called Arc 2.0. I'm not familiar with that OS. I'm sure it's Linux-based. It's a version of Linux that runs on whatever board chipset is on this thing. So you've got emulation station and RetroPie running on top of Arc 2.0 OS. I was able to glean that from the boot up screens. So it fires up Well, I'll show it to you here. I've got it right here. So this is it. Pretty small. It comes with a screen protector, so I took that off. The SD card for the OS is on the right side of the unit. It's got your standard controller configuration. You got a D-pad. You've got your select and your start. I realize the lighting isn't the greatest here. You've got your select and your start, and a function button, whatever that is for. And then you got your speaker right here in the center. And then you've got your A, B, X, Y buttons, and then two kind of joystick-like controls. You got your power button on the left side. There's another spot for an SD card, so I guess you could load your own games on that card as well. And then you've got a volume on up and down. And then on the back, if you look on the back here, you've got your what are these labeled? I can't read. Curse my frickin' blindness. So L1, L2, R2, or R1 and R2. So you've got 4 buttons on the back here. And I like how it's ridged here a little bit. So when you hold it and you're grabbing the buttons like this. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, in the and again, my experience with this thing is very limited. And don't ask me the manufacturer. It's sold by Happy Time off of Amazon, but just okay. So the brand says going back to the Amazon page. It says brand is Akaxi, AKAXI. So whether or not that's the actual manufacturer, because again, this is a generic handheld running RetroPie emulation station. I've watched a few videos on this thing. Here, I'll turn it on for you so you guys can see what it does. I apparently got to press and hold it. There we go. So you got a little blue LED that comes on. Then it's going to go load emulation station. There we go, emulation station. And then it pops. Oh boy, that washout there is just horrible. Here, let's see if I can't control the I'm going to change my my cameras just suck. Yeah, I'm trying to get a better picture of this, but it's just a little washed out. Well, not a little, a lot. But anyway, so it comes up immediately to the Arcade Classics menu. Typical emulation station. You got Capcom, Play System 1, Capcom 2 Play System, Capcom 3, something called Watomi Suave, whatever that is, Naomi, PC Engine, Family Computer, Super Famicom, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, just all kinds of, Sega, Dreamcast, Game Gear, Neo Geo, PlayStation, PSP. Again, and at the top it tells you how many games are in each folder. And if you select all games, it does say 30,000 games available. So whether or not I did read some of the comments, some of them are duplicates, some of them don't work. And am I surprised? Hell no. I'm just adjusting my I'll do that later. Anyway, so you can favorite games on here as well. I haven't done that yet because I haven't played with it that much. Well, first of all, I don't pay for 1080p for restream, so it goes out 720p. If I want to get 1080p, I got to pay extra, and I'm not going to do that. So, sorry, folks, you got to see me in 720p. So that's probably contributing to how this looks, and I apologize. I'll probably have to think about sucking it up, working it into my budget. But if I press the A button and go in, you can kind of hear me selecting stuff on a menu. I know you can't see this. Let's try something here. On the fly. I'm going to fire up my cell phone camera. Da, 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 da. It looks better on my cell phone camera, so let's do this. I am going to switch to my cell phone view. There you go. So you can kind of, let me go back. So this is what it boots into right here. So I'm adjusting the, so I got it's better with the cell phone camera. I'm holding it, so you're going to get some camera shake. So again, you scroll down, Capcom 1, Capcom 2, Capcom 3. I don't know what that is. Was there even any games in there? Now there's 8 games in that particular menu, whatever it is. Naomi, PC Engine, Family Computer, Super Famicom, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS. All these choices here. And options, all games, favorites, and then back to arcade classics. Now, I will say off the bat, you know, you've got your 4-inch monitor. It's a little smaller than 4 inches, but of course it's a horizontal orientation. So your vertical games, this is one thing I did not like about this out of the box, is the vertical games do not properly orientate. So I got to figure out how to do that. There is documentation that came with this thing. It's very tiny and hard to read. So I'll press the A button and we'll go through the menu a little bit. See if I can find a vertical game here. I know one that's fairly close. And so we'll choose Bagman. Now watch how this starts. See, it's compressed. So it scrunches this vertical game to fit horizontally. And so I gotta figure out how to, there are instructions about changing the orientation for vertical games with the included documentation, but I need to, so again, I just got this thing yesterday and only started playing with it tonight or this morning. So the vertical games are gonna need some settings adjustments to get them where I want to get them. The horizontal games play great. And you press the function button and the start button at the same time to get back to the menu. So let me find, I think at the top it had, yeah. So let's go into Simpson. Oh, what happened? In a second, Zero, I will answer your question. Should turn the volume down so I don't get copyright strike. There we go. So the vertical games look really great on this screen. So if you love, or I mean, not vertical, the horizontal games look really good. If you're more of a vertical guy, you're going to have to do some settings adjustments. And when I figure that out, I'll tell you guys about it. But so far, I haven't. That's the only major issue I have is I'm going to have to tweak these vertical games myself, and so a little disappointed with that. But for the price, I can't complain because I don't know. I'll go back and I'll set the camera down here. Turn off my camera here on the cell phone so I don't drain the battery. All right. So let's go back to Amazon. Let me go back and make sure I'm missing. Let's see. Oh, link in the chat. Yes, I can do that. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat. This is not a recommendation video. I'm not recommending this product yet. Not until I have some more time to play with it. I'm just showing you what I bought. So you guys, it's up to you whether you splurge the money on this. And based on so far on the comments, that's a big link. Probably didn't need to put all that in there, but this will get you to the link is in the chat. That should get you to the page. So let's take a look at this listing here. So $79.99, but there's a 20% off coupon available. So I believe I paid. I believe this was also on sale when I bought it earlier. So I don't think I did not pay $79.99. So if we were to add this to the cart, you can also put protection in there. Yeah, it does take off 16, but then you got tax. So I didn't just order that, did I? Oh, delete. I don't want to buy it again. So going back to, so it's got a 3.5-inch IPS screen, 20 emulators, 256 gig card. Now, what I will say there is I backed it up. Of course, I did an SD card image, and the image only came out to 92 gigabytes. So of that 256 SD card, only 92 gigabytes are really in use. So they've got 30,000 games in there that add up to 92 gigs. So there's plenty of room on the existing SD card to add your own games. That's one thing I want to talk about is, so down here at where it says customizable options, it says supports Wi-Fi connection, Wi-Fi adapter for 2-player co-op gaming. So I did not pay attention to this fine print. So Wi-Fi does not come with this unit. So you have to buy a Type-C Wi-Fi receiver that you can plug in to the bottom of the thing. There's a port. There are 2 ports on the bottom. There are 2 ports on the bottom. You're probably not going to be able to see them, or you can see them there. Jesus. I cannot figure out my orientation. Right there. You can't really read them. There's 2 ports there, and then there's a headphones jack in the middle, in between them. So there's an OTG port and a DC port. The DC port is where you're going to plug in your USB charger to charge the device. It's got its battery compartment. The OTG port right here is where you would plug in that Wi-Fi adapter. So if you need to access the data or you want to add games to it over Wi-Fi, you're going to need to plug in something here. And I need to hunt down what I need to plug into this OTG port and order it as well. So I'll probably do that because I'd like to be able to trim. I want to trim down some of the games on here because there's a lot of games on here I don't care about. It's easier to delete than it is to add. So I've got my backup of the original SD card. So if I want to go back to it, I can. But I want to get the SD card down to where it does what I want it to do. So, and you know me, I'm just a classic retro guy. I haven't tried Robotron on it yet. That should be interesting. Let's see. To answer your question, it comes with 30,000 games. Has a long battery life, hours of battery life, and it comes with a Type-C charging cable. It's actually USB-C to USB-A. So you can plug it into your PC to provide a charge. And it has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and it also has the built-in speaker. It says here it's pre-installed with over 15,000 games, which is weird because, you know, up here it says 30,000 in one, and even on the menu of the actual device itself, it says 30,000. So there was, I think, an earlier version of this device, and they probably just cut and pasted some of the features. So it's got an Arcade 3326 chip in it, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So a lot of RAM in there to run some retro games. You can get a case for it if you want. It's sold by another vendor. Here's what it comes with here in this picture. So you've got the actual unit itself. You've got that little, this thing is tiny, this manual. And then you've got your USB-C to USB-A charging. I wouldn't recommend you put it in your jeans pocket. Just looking at the specs here, again, simulations, MAME, N64, PS1, Neo, FC, whatever these are. Uh, 256 gigabyte card. Whatever the horn is. Oh my gosh. It talks about the lithium battery and then the interfaces. So again, I've had very limited time with this. I've been copyright strike before, and I'm not monetized. So it can happen. It can happen. So Moat's right here, Danny. I mean, I've gotten a copyright strike before, and I'm not monetized, and I'm not, you know. So buyer beware. There are issues, especially with vertical games. You're going to have to hack or change the settings. It does talk about how to do that in the documentation. Just haven't had time to do it. So I'm only showing you this because this is what I bought this week. I'm not recommending the product. That may come at a later date. If you look online and if you search for R40S on YouTube, you'll see some videos out there of some content creators that have reviewed this thing. They like it. There's one guy that's really enthusiastic about this thing. So buyer beware. If you want to plunk down, the $80 or with coupon, 60, 65, go for it. It's just something I bought to take with me to work and have available when I want to take a break. And because my coworker does that when he's on breaks, he whips out his phone and he's playing things. And so I thought, well, this would be cool. Maybe get to play some of my favorite retro games while I'm just chilling for a little bit. And so that's what I did. I did look at the Evercade Zero. I'm on the fence about that product right now. So it's a possibility. I may still pick it up, but I did look at it when you recommended it. That's cool, Ted. Neat. Don't think I'm having Wi-Fi issues. If there's something wrong with the stream, let me know. No, I do not. I did, but my cable connection is upstairs, so running cable, I'd have to pull the cable company back here. So I'm working over Wi-Fi pretty much. You get what you pay for. Yeah. So two things about, the way the image looks right now. Again, Stock Jock, don't come hating at me. Congratulations. I'm happy for you, but don't come hating at me if you get it and you're like, oh man, this thing sucks. Pac-Man is like compressed. How do I fix that? I'm like I said, buyer beware. So this is one of those generic units out there that are floating around that have Emulation Station and RetroPie on it. And I'm a tinkerer, so I'm going to tinker with it. And I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money to do it. So I do recommend you back up that SD card, though, when it comes before you start messing around with it. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the switch. So they're sending me the on-off switch. I suspect that's where the problem is, or if it's in the actual wiring connected to that switch. So I'm hoping they send me the kit with both the switch and the wire. That way I can replace the wiring too and rule that out. So we'll see. Hopefully it comes this week. No. Hey, I'll tell you if I love a product. And I'll always say, if you want it, go get it. If you don't go get it. It's up to you. I happen to love Arcade 1-Up products for what they are, and for what they give me. So I'm a fan of Arcade 1-Up. I'm sad about the problems they're having, but anytime I talk about a product, it's completely up to you whether you want to go buy it or not. I don't care. None of these. I have 272 subscribers. Do you think any one of those companies give a damn what I think about their products? I don't think so. I'm going to tell you how they make me feel. Like I said, I just said Arcade 1-Up. Gives me a lot of nostalgia for that time, that era. Okay. What else do I have to talk about? Oh, I didn't mention, but that this thing comes in different colors too. So there's gray, there's blue, green, orange, purple, and then white. Just to let me show you how it came. So this is the box it came in. And it's packed in this box here's everything that comes with it. So you've got your actual unit here in a plastic wrap, and then and it's actually folded reverse. So there is an English side to this document. It's just fold out documentation, and the English side is actually buried. So you just got to flip it over, and then your USB cable is right here. So that's what it came with. And then here's a picture of what actually did come with it. So you only get 3 things in the box. So that's that. Love this hobby. Love the people in it. I love all the friendships I've made through this hobby. It's been terrific. You guys have been great. I don't do this enough, and I never put it out there. But in a caption here, I don't use this feature of Restream very often, but I will put it up. So if any of you guys ever want to email me outside of the channel, just shoot me an email to this email address. I check it every once in a while. And if you just have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can hit me up there. You can also message me on Discord. I'm on there as Mr. Or am I on there as? I can't even tell you what I'm on there as. Let me pull it up. Nope, that's not it. Where's Discord? There it is. I am on there as Quarterdeck Arcade. So shoot me a message in Quarterdeck Arcade or in Discord on Quarterdeck Arcade, the Quarterdeck Arcade. I don't use enough of Restream features. Guys, it's been almost an hour. I've spent an hour with you. I'm gonna wrap the stream up. I don't really have anything else to discuss. Looking ahead I'm back to working at home 2 days a week next week, so I will have time in the arcade. I'm very happy about that. That makes me happy. Plus, I won't have to log into the At Games machines again after a week of non-use. But I want to play some more games this week, and I'll get to know the handheld that I bought a little better, and hopefully next weekend. Before I wrap this up, I do need to talk about next weekend. There may not be a show next weekend, guys, because I have a major work project I've been working on. I've been working on it for the last year and a half. That's how long it's taken this project to be shepherded through the process. We had a lot of data cleanup we had to do. And so now implementation of this project is next weekend. So I'm going to start Friday night, maybe push it off to Saturday morning. But just to let you guys know, I don't know how my weekend's going to shape up next weekend. So I got to tell you, I'll update the community via a community post, and I'll keep you apprised of what's going to happen on Sunday. If all goes smoothly on Saturday, and I don't have to do anything else, or no fixes or last minute code changes, then we'll have a Sunday show. But I just want to put that out there that it can happen that I may not be able to do a show next weekend. So bear that in mind. But I do plan to dive into this handheld a little bit more today, and then hopefully throw some stuff out, maybe a community post here or two, maybe a short about some things I've discovered about it. So anyway. I can't do that. This project has I gotta be honest with you folks. This project has sucked the life. I used to be brown haired. Okay. Before this project began, I was brown haired. This project has put the gray in me. I'm surprised I still have hair. So it's been a long process, and it's a painful process, but it had to be done. And it's not the only project I'm working on. I've got two more I'm working on in the background that will have to be implemented too. Well, one of them may not happen because I'm getting pushback on some of the changes, but so I'm trying to go out. If I do end up retiring soon, I want to go. I want to leave a legacy behind. We all, we all want to leave. If you're going to work 40 years at doing something, you want to be able to leave something behind, a piece of you, your sweat and your toil, and you want to be able people to say, yeah, Pete did that. Hope he's enjoying retirement. So that's what I want to do here. That's why I'm taking on 3 major projects here towards the end of my career, because I want to leave my employer in a much better position after I leave. So that's what's driving these major projects. And so hopefully next weekend goes really well. Hey, Biggie D, good to see you. I'm about ready to end the stream, so I do appreciate you jumping in. Zero, I like having something to do for this show. So, but sometimes I have to wait. I still want to get stuff from Tulsa Arcades and buy stuff arcades. I haven't done that. I've been kind of procrastinating because it hasn't been in the budget as yet. But the budget's going to become more clear hopefully this week. So we'll see. Yes, 4K pinball is definitely in my future as well. It's just a matter of when. Trying to be smart about my money, guys. Yes, I am moving to Florida. The gal and I have our hearts set on moving to Florida. Tampa Bay area or that side of the coast. We're not locked into that area, but that's the general area that we're looking. So Fort Myers, that general area. Answer your question up here, Danny. Yes, I mess with data daily. Sometimes it's so monotonous that I fall asleep in my chair. It happens. I'm old or getting there. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate all you guys stopping by. Sorry I didn't have anything fun to do today. Hopefully, maybe next week. We'll see. Oh, 4K camera. Yeah, I'll consider stream upgrades at that point. Like I said, my budget's going to become even more clearer within the next week or two. When I know what my finances are, some things will start popping here for the arcade. And that includes improving the stream. So number one, I'll probably up my subscription to Restream so that I can do 1080p, and then I'll get a decent camera. So All right, guys. So, guys, as always, um, have a great rest of your weekend. Play your games. I'm going to play a couple of games here before I go back upstairs. And just have a great week, a safe week. Don't let anything get you down. Don't let anybody get you down. Live life and have fun. And always remember, I've got next.